In the shadowy depths of the world's oceans, where silence reigns and secrecy defines power, one vessel has drawn global attention and concern: Russia's K-329 Belgorod. This is not just another nuclear submarine, it is a platform designed to carry one of the most mysterious and terrifying strategic weapons ever conceived: the Poseidon nuclear torpedo. The Belgorod is, by length, the largest submarine in the world. Measuring an astonishing 184 meters, it dwarfs even the massive ballistic missile submarines of the Cold War. But what makes Belgorod truly unique is not its size, it is its purpose. The submarine is a launch platform for Poseidon, a weapon so unusual that some experts call it the Doomsday drone. Poseidon is not a conventional torpedo. At nearly 20 meters long, it is essentially an unmanned underwater vehicle, an autonomous nuclear-powered, nuclear-armed drone. Instead of striking military targets in a tactical sense, Poseidon is built for strategic devastation. Its mission, according to Russian military doctrine, is to deliver a nuclear strike against coastal cities, naval bases, or carrier groups, not from the air or land, but from beneath the sea. Why does this matter? Because Poseidon represents a radical new category of deterrence weapon. Unlike traditional intercontinental ballistic missiles, which can be tracked, intercepted, or destroyed before impact, Poseidon is designed to slip silently through the oceans for thousands of kilometers. With its nuclear propulsion, it can remain submerged indefinitely, waiting for the moment to strike. The very existence of such a system shifts the balance of nuclear strategy. Officially, Russia claims that Poseidon could carry a warhead of up to 2 megatons. Unofficial reports suggest even higher estimates, some speculating as high as 100 megatons, though that number remains controversial. Regardless of the exact yield, the concept is chilling. Imagine a nuclear detonation beneath the sea, near a major coastal city. Not only would it unleash catastrophic destruction, but it could also generate massive radioactive tsunamis, rendering entire regions uninhabitable for decades. The Belgorod itself was originally laid down as an Oscar II-class submarine in the early 1990s. For years, its construction was delayed and nearly abandoned after the collapse of the Soviet Union. But in the 2010s, the vessel was redesigned and rebuilt for a new role as the dedicated carrier of Poseidon torpedoes. This transformation turned a once standard submarine hull into something unprecedented in naval warfare. In July 2022, Russia officially commissioned Belgorod into service. Its arrival immediately sparked concern across NATO. Military analysts began asking the same question: was this a propaganda tool meant to intimidate, or a genuine operational weapon system ready to deploy? The answer, as with much surrounding Poseidon, remains deliberately unclear. What is certain, however, is that Belgorod represents a new layer of complexity in global nuclear strategy. Unlike missile silos, which can be monitored by satellites, or bomber fleets, which can be tracked by radar, a submarine carrying autonomous nuclear drones is far harder to surveil. Once Belgorod disappears beneath the waves, no one knows exactly where it is, or what orders it might have. This uncertainty is part of its design. Poseidon is not necessarily a first-strike weapon. Instead, it functions as a second-strike deterrent. In other words, even if an enemy were to destroy Russia's land-based nuclear arsenal, Belgorod and its Poseidons could still retaliate with devastating effect. This ensures that Russia maintains a credible deterrent no matter the circumstances. Yet, the very existence of Poseidon has fueled debate even within Russia's own strategic circles. Some experts question whether the weapon is practical. How reliable is its guidance system? Can it truly navigate across oceans without being detected? And perhaps most importantly, is the apocalyptic vision of a radioactive tsunami more psychological warfare than military reality? Still, one fact remains: Belgorod and Poseidon embody a willingness to push the boundaries of military technology into uncharted territory. Just as intercontinental missiles once reshaped the nuclear balance, so too does Poseidon represent a shift toward unmanned, autonomous systems that may define future conflict. For the United States and NATO, Belgorod is now a strategic puzzle. Tracking it requires immense resources. Submarines, surveillance aircraft, and undersea listening networks all scramble to detect any sign of its movements. But the oceans are vast, and Belgorod was built precisely to vanish within them. The weapon it carries, the Poseidon, remains one of the least understood elements of Russia's arsenal. Its true capabilities, its exact deployment numbers, and its readiness remain shrouded in secrecy. What we do know, however, is that the mere announcement of Belgorod's commissioning sent a message to the world. Russia intends to retain and expand its ability to strike unconventionally in any future nuclear exchange. And this is only the beginning of the story, because to understand Belgorod fully, we must not only look at its capabilities, but also at its symbolic role in modern geopolitics. As Russia faces mounting international pressure and escalating tensions with the West, Belgorod emerges not only as a weapon, but as a statement that says, even in the 21st century, the seas remain a frontier of fear, secrecy, and deterrence. But Russia's ambitions did not end with the Belgorod's sheer size. Its true significance lies in the terrifying weapon it was designed to carry, the Poseidon nuclear torpedo. Unlike anything seen before, Poseidon is not a conventional submarine-launched ballistic missile. Instead, it is an unmanned, nuclear-powered underwater drone capable of traversing entire oceans on its own. Poseidon is enormous, nearly 24 meters in length, larger than a city bus. Powered by a miniature nuclear reactor, it can travel thousands of kilometers at extreme depths, making detection almost impossible. Traditional anti-submarine defenses, designed to intercept torpedoes or missiles with limited range, were never intended to stop something like this. What makes Poseidon so feared is not just its stealth, but its destructive potential. It is designed to carry a nuclear warhead estimated at up to 100 megatons, twice the size of the largest bomb ever tested in human history. Detonated underwater, such a weapon could generate a radioactive tsunami hundreds of meters high, sweeping across coastal cities and rendering them uninhabitable for decades. Unlike a traditional missile strike, which is devastating but localized, Poseidon threatens to poison entire regions, crippling economies and reshaping geopolitics overnight. This concept has led some Western analysts to call Poseidon a doomsday weapon. It does not necessarily guarantee victory in war, but it ensures mutual destruction on an apocalyptic scale. In many ways, Poseidon revives the chilling doctrine of the Cold War, mutually assured destruction, but in a new and far more unpredictable form. The Belgorod was built to deploy these weapons in secret, with its ability to remain submerged for months and its compatibility with deep-diving research vehicles. It can transport Poseidons close to enemy shores before releasing them silently into the abyss. Once launched, a Poseidon could travel autonomously for days, weeks, or even months, waiting for a command signal to strike. This combination of stealth, endurance, and nuclear power is unmatched in modern military technology. But beyond its military role, Belgorod also carries an array of tools for undersea espionage. It can operate specialized submersibles capable of tampering with or even severing critical undersea communication cables, the lifelines of global internet and finance. In a world more dependent than ever on digital infrastructure, the ability to disrupt or destroy these cables represents a new front in hybrid warfare. Western intelligence agencies have closely monitored Belgorod since its launch, and NATO navies have adjusted their patrols accordingly. Yet many experts admit that current detection systems are not prepared to reliably track a submarine of this size, operating at extreme depths. For the first time in decades, Russia has introduced a weapon that the West does not yet have a clear defense against. Still, some analysts argue that Belgorod and Poseidon are as much about psychological warfare as they are about actual combat. The very existence of such a weapon forces adversaries to consider the unthinkable. In this sense, Belgorod is not only a machine of war, but also a tool of deterrence. Its shadow alone alters strategic calculations. As with many nuclear developments, however, the pursuit of security may instead bring greater instability. Poseidon's deployment lowers the threshold for catastrophic escalation, blurring the line between conventional and nuclear warfare. If even a single Poseidon were ever used, it would unleash consequences beyond imagination. Today, the Belgorod sails as both a submarine and a message. It embodies Russia's determination to project power, challenge NATO, and secure its influence beneath the waves. But it also raises urgent questions about the future of global security, the rules of war, and whether humanity can control the weapons it creates. What do you think about the Belgorod and Poseidon? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories like this.